Hello, it is I, Tempest. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 just came out the other day and I have been playing it since. I am a huge fan of Xeno series, so when I heard that a third Blade game was going to be released, I was really excited to say the least. So today I've decided to share my first impressions of the game with you all. As of writing this, I am only as far as less than halfway through Chapter 3, so obviously I won't be covering anything after that point. Rather, I will be saving that for a final impressions and a highly edited review video, much like my PGR one. And that should be everything, so let's begin the video. Man, I have been waiting a long time for this game, so my hype was at its absolute peak as I was starting up the game. So, did it live up to that hype? Well, mostly. There are a few complaints I do have with the game, and sadly, all too much like these problems seem the absolute most apparent right at the start. Specifically the tutorials. After Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it seems Monolith learned how much a bad tutorial could hurt a game, which is a good thing. The bad thing is they overcompensate for this problem, and now we have a game that thinks you need 2 separate fights to learn auto attacks before it gives you arts. And that is not even close to the only time the game does this kind of thing. I think the thing that I dislike the most about this is the fact that the tutorials were perfect in Torna, and yet somehow Monolith can't seem to learn a thing or 3 from that success. And these tutorials drag. As of writing this script, I think I only just now got access to everything. But, and a massive but, now that I do have access to everything, the game is honestly absolutely amazing. Every bit of the new combat mechanics work extremely well. The arts are satisfying to land, especially off of a cancel. The new chain attack mechanics are really well done, and I absolutely love the character switching. I think I use it more often than anyone else I've seen who's played the game so far. The big new gimmicks of the game, classes and Ouroboros, I sadly haven't spent enough time with to truly see how fleshed out they get, but so far they are both amazing. Unfortunately, the only hero I have unlocked as of writing this is a spoiler one, so I can't show them here, although their class is my favorite one so far, so it definitely bodes well for the rest of them. Literally the only complaint I have about the combat so far is how long it takes to get going, as I feel like it's going to be a pain to deal with on second or third runs. I also love the world design. Each area is massive and an absolute joy to explore. There is plenty of stuff to do in Ionios as well, so it never feels empty, and you can really feel, no pun intended, the darker atmosphere of this game's world design. You can see very well that this world is trapped in a pointless war. I've also noticed that pretty much every enemy aggroes you, which isn't actually annoying as it sounds, but it makes the world feel even more dangerous, very much helping the tone. The lighting in this game is also absolutely perfect. It really helps set the tone, and it's probably pushing the Switch to its limits. Oh, and they finally got rid of that stupid sharding filter that was in 2 and Definitive Edition, which made the games actually look way worse than they otherwise would at low res. Thank God. Speaking of changes from previous games, the voice acting in this game is much better than 2, nearly reaching the highs of 1 at times, although I'm not sure if you could surpass Adam Howden voicing Shulk. The character designs are also way better than in 2, and even a little better than 1. Hell, I even like the NPC designs in this game, and I really don't like those in 2, even if I am one of the few who didn't mind the designs of the main characters. The last thing I'm going to say is better than 2 is the menu UI, because it actually functions well, whereas 2's UI has some major problems with certain things such as equipping blades to characters, or honestly most things around blades in general it had trouble doing, which is funny considering blades were like the largest aspect of that game. I will say, however, that early game I had a few problems with the character writing, mainly right when both groups meet up, but this is yet another thing that gets a lot better closer to the time I stopped to write the script. My favorite character so far is Mio, but seeing as this is a spoiler-free section, I won't give specifics as to why just yet. Just know that she is really well written. The tone of this game is probably closer to the older Xeno games such as Gears of Saga than the Blade games, although the gameplay is much closer to Blade and it even takes a few aspects from Xenoblade X. It really feels like the culmination of all things Xeno, or I guess you could say, this is the culmination of years of Xenoblade. I'm sorry, but not really. The music is also great so far, but this is a Xenoblade game, so I'm 99% sure people are already well aware of this, so it's probably not even worth mentioning, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I feel like it. My favorite songs would have to be the Elite Monster Battle theme for Formidable Foe and Weight of Life. I am going to say my overall opinion on the game right now before I get into spoilers so that people who haven't played it yet can get it before clicking off. And that opinion is that it is a really good Xenoblade game that's sadly a lot like 2 with its slow start, that takes a bit to get great, albeit with a much better story rate from the start and pretty much the opposite of 2's tutorial problem. But actually this is the worst Blade game because the Big Red Monkey is not named Territorial Robert. I'm just joking. Now that I can talk about spoilers, it's time to get into some specifics. Firstly, the reason I felt the character interactions around when they met awkward was because I thought they had came to accept each other way too fast, especially Uni and Senna. Noah and Mio made sense at that point, as they had seen each other's thoughts, but Senna and Uni, in my opinion, at that time made way less sense. As I said, however, at that time. Just before and during Chapter 3, the game makes it clear that none of them actually ever wanted to fight. Though this isn't hinted at for anyone except for Noah, so it's only really jarring at the time. I, however, don't think this is bad writing, because fighting is all they knew before they met, so it makes sense they wouldn't say their true thoughts out loud even if they had them. Not to mention their entire world had just changed around them, so it makes sense they'd be confused and not know exactly what to think at the time. The directing in this game is top notch. It feels better than most movies I've seen, and it really helps emphasize the more emotional scenes. Mio is also very well written, and I really like how she slowly comes to want to live more and more as the plot goes on. Her relationship with Noah is also very well done. Ethel is another amazing character. At first I was surprised at just how fast she came to accept the party and the end of the war, but as you learn about her character you come to learn that that's just her personality, and at that point I came to really like her. Also, Noah's sword at this point in the game is explained to be crafted by a Nopon, which is just really funny. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Before I make my huge well-edited Xenoblade 3 review, I'll do one more video just like this, but my impressions after I'm finished rather than just started with the game. Although there may be a number of non-Xenoblade videos between that and the larger review, as it will take longer than even my PGR video. Also, I know this is a much shorter video than I usually do or I am planning to do. That's because I don't have that much to actually talk about for it. The other parts should be a much more accurate length for this channel, ranging closer to the lengths you've seen on my 2 previous larger videos. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe and share it around with your friends if you think they'd be interested in my content or this game, and I will see you guys next time.